On October 4, 2024, a legal decision in Europe sent shockwaves through the football world. The European Court of Justice delivered a landmark ruling that could fundamentally change how player transfers work across the globe. This is the story of Lassana Diarra versus FIFA, and how one player's fight against the system may have transformed football forever. To understand this case, we need to go back to 2014. Lassana Diarra, the former Chelsea, Arsenal and French international midfielder, had signed a 4-year contract with Russian club Lokomotiv Moscow in 2013. But just 1 year later, unhappy with alleged pay cuts, Diarra terminated his contract and left Moscow. This is where FIFA's transfer rules came into play. Under FIFA's regulations on the status and transfer of players, any player who breaks their contract without just cause faces severe consequences. Not only must they pay compensation to their former club, but any new club that signs them becomes jointly responsible for that compensation. Moscow demanded 20 million euros from Diarra. But here's where the story gets interesting. Diarra claimed that despite interest from several clubs, no one would sign him because of these rules. The financial risk was simply too great. The only concrete offer he received was from Belgian club Charleroi, but it was conditional on confirmation that they wouldn't be liable for Moscow's compensation claim. FIFA's dispute resolution chamber eventually ordered Diarra to pay 10.5 million euros to Moscow. More importantly, they refused to issue an international transfer certificate, which meant Diarra couldn't be registered with any new club. His career was effectively frozen. Diarra fought back, taking FIFA and the Belgian Football Association to court. He argued that FIFA's rules violated European Union law, specifically the principles of free movement of workers and competition law. The Belgian court agreed in principle and awarded him provisional damages, but FIFA appealed, setting up a showdown at Europe's highest court. The European Court of Justice faced a crucial question. Do FIFA's transfer rules unlawfully restrict player movement and competition between clubs? The court's answer was a resounding yes. In their October 2024 ruling, the judges found that FIFA's transfer rules constitute an illegal restriction on both the free movement of workers and competition within the European Union. The court noted that these rules create what amounts to a general, absolute and permanent ban on the unilateral recruitment of players already signed, imposed on all professional football clubs across the entire EU. The judges acknowledged that maintaining contractual stability in football is a legitimate objective. However, they ruled that FIFA's current system goes far beyond what's necessary to achieve this goal. The rules were deemed disproportionate. So what does this mean for football? The implications are potentially enormous. FIFA will now have to fundamentally reconsider how their transfer system operates within the European Union. Players may find it easier to move between clubs without the threat of crippling financial penalties hanging over them and their new employers. This could shift the power dynamic between players and clubs, giving athletes more freedom to control their careers. However, it also raises concerns about wealthy clubs potentially poaching talent more easily from smaller teams. The ripple effects extend beyond Europe. Despite Brexit, this ruling will likely impact the Premier League significantly, given its deep connections to the European transfer market. Smaller clubs that rely on developing and selling young talent may find their business models under pressure if transfer fees decline due to increased player mobility. The Diarra case represents more than just one player's victory. It signals the European Court of Justice's willingness to intervene in sports governance when it conflicts with fundamental EU principles. As we see increased antitrust enforcement globally, this decision marks a significant milestone in using competition law to force change in the sports ecosystem. What started as one footballer's dispute with his Russian club has evolved into a legal earthquake that may reshape how the beautiful game operates worldwide. The full consequences of the Diarra ruling are yet to unfold, but one thing is certain: the transfer system as we know it will never be quite the same again.